geopolitical reading for you guys today. Okay, so the collective needs to know this. There is some type of movement in the distant future, or that has to do with another country, where there's like some type of revolution going on. We're being reported in the media as one thing, but there's a different narrative. Okay. A lot of decisions are being made right now behind the scenes. Ultimately, everybody involved, like all parties, want peace ultimately, or at least some form of it. Um, Others are into exerting a power in a certain direction for the sake of peace on their end of things, if that makes sense. Okay, there's some type of judgment that is happening at this moment, or that is like the act, whatever the act is, like the movement or the outcome of whatever this movement is, long term or instantaneously. There's something about it being like making history, or uh no, I also could be picking up on something that already happened, and this is a precursor to something else, which I'm going to clarify in a bit. But there is some type of rite of passage that is also a part of this movement. The people that join, they go through some type of rites of passage, or that's what they feel as though is happening. But there's an awareness of the fact that everybody still wants peace. And I feel like the reason why that peace thing is coming up is because there's a lot of um what do you call that? There's a lot of tension. Okay, I don't know what countries are being involved or what is happening, but let's find out. I'm going to pull out the handy dandy world news deck and see what wants to come out. We already have something. CERN and portals. Okay. CERN and portals, which could be, okay. That's interesting because I said something about history being made. There could even be something about someone trying to change history. So going back in time, trying to reverse something or reverse an outcome. The serial offender, crimes linked to a single reoccurring perpetrator. We also have the mercenary, hired soldiers or groups used to destabilize nations. Okay, so we know that this is something that is happening. Patriot Act legislation that allows for mass spying and erosion of civil liberties under the guise of national security. Okay, we know there's things like Palantir that exists, alternative media outlet source, okay, and a flash flood. Now, alternative media outlet source, the thing that comes to mind there is, it could be a number of different brands of that, but I am picking up on Turning Point. Turning Point has a lot of controversial news stories developing coming out of that little group, and we'll get into that a little bit more because we've already gotten onto that in the previous channel, but let's stay focused. We have a flash flood that also is here, rapid unexpected inundation symbolizing emotional overwhelm or sudden change. So there could be actual flash floods. I do know that I saw some reports of that happening in Chicago the last week or so, while it was also extremely cold in the area, and other places experience like cold fronts, but this body of water being in Chicago was significant. So Chicago could also be significant, or there could be someone from Chicago or tied to Chicago, something. But there's going to be an inundation of like information. It could tie back to people, citizens being ultimately like watched. um and this could also be happening where, say there was like some type of insurgent, right? There could be a world's power that's watching a specific country and reporting it differently, reporting things or details coming out of that country differently. I don't know why I'm picking up on that. All right, what else? Mexico. Mexico, okay, key player in North American trade, migration politics, and regional stability with a growing influence in international forums. Okay, so we know what's going on with Mexico. What else? Public mourning ritual. All right, so I think I know who we are dealing with right now. So this could have something to do with the Kirk situation. I don't even feel like talking so much about it because I've done already 3 readings on it. The algorithm. Okay, right. Control grid, artificial intelligence being used to monitor, manipulate, or oppress citizens. Okay, so again, something coming up about spying on the citizens or monitoring citizens. Spiral of chaos. This is underneath the flash flood. Events spiraling out of control, leading to disorder and power shifts. Uh, and this is having to do with an alternative media outlet source. So something could come out of, all right, so a revolution, some type of movement is happening in this country, and I think it's relating to this Charlie Kirk situation. It was a slow build. I remember when the situation happened, I did a reading of it on the same day or the day after, and the video went like semi-viral. Around that same time, maybe a month later, the readings that I did subsequently after started to kind of get like, I think, a lot more traction than my other videos. And eventually my channel was banned. Okay, so I feel like me being this little creator in a space where conversations at the time were not officially being had, right, about certain details, but I was bringing out certain topics and possible circumstances that now are being like elaborated on now, that are coming on now. Everybody's talking about how these people closest to him we're the ones who set him up, and he started to know that. That came out in the reading. If you know, comment down below, let me know, and also just corroborate what I'm saying for those of the people that are like, oh please, she's just making this up, because I'm not. I don't always know exactly what I'm picking up on, but I do have a lot of confirmation about stuff, especially as time goes on. Now, the spiral of chaos that's happening right now, it's like we are being inundated, or they could feel like they're being inundated. Whoever this media outlet source is, we'll just say it's TP. It doesn't have to be TP, allegedly, whatever, but say it's them. They are dealing with certain things behind the scenes that they can't control now. Something, the cat is out of the bag. There's something about, it's not just about the death, it's something about like the cleanup. Somebody didn't do cleanup properly. Like, I don't know if they did not clean something well. And it doesn't feel like it's a, a physical thing, not like, bodily substances. It's a, somebody did not clean up the internet properly, or they did not um think it would be significant. They didn't think people would actually do their research in certain areas. I don't think that they thought that certain details would resurface about people. I think there's something about that, okay? The algorithm is bending in a way that's also going to make it extremely uncomfortable for them to escape, because that's at the center of this reading. But the algorithm is also monitoring in a way to kind of see. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we all know that this is social engineering. Social engineering, this is some form of a psyop. They are trying to monitor the people to see how they're going to react on this long term. What type of trends are we going to see in 2026 as people, as far as like political activism or certain revolutions happening within this country, if there are more and more people who are starting to wake up or believe that the country that they're currently in is not as safe as they think, that the country that they're in is actually a part of stifling the truth, censoring things in a way that is like harmful to its citizens, or like when they realize that they are not as protected. So that's where this patriot, why do I keep saying it like that? Patriots, Mercenaries and patriots. Okay, 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 okay. So this is also talking about like ICE or ICE related people. Okay, I'm picking up on like the country being invaded, and it may not just be ours. Like, of course, we know other people usurp power all the time around across the globe, but I'm picking up on like this being more of like an issue than it's being talked about on the news because it's too um it's going to be too volatile to control the response of the people, but things are spiraling out of like control a little bit. There's people who are being hired kind of like how ICE is, who are within the government right now, but it's not even just about the government. They're everywhere. It's some type of virus that's happening where it's everywhere. It has spread everywhere. It's bigger than what you think it is. It's not exactly who you think it is. There's layers and layers of what this actually is, and it's all done out of being all under the guise of a patriot for their country. Okay, it's more than one group, and they're layered within each other. It's sub levels and niches to how this movement is happening. um it's almost a form of cannibalism also, I'm picking up on, like, I don't know why. Okay. Underneath the deck, global spotlight. When a nation, event, or person becomes the center of a national attention. Okay. We know what happened with Charlie. Charlie, deep state coup, sudden hidden upheaval within a government for a power grab. I'm telling you, somebody like it's not who you think it is. It's not who you think it is. Now, let me just say this. The last channel that I had specific themes for that year that I am starting to reflect on now, and I realize why those specific themes and names and people, figures kept reoccurring and coming up. Donald Trump had a lot of focus on my channel at one point after he won the election again. And there were very specific details about him. This deep state coup is not exactly how I'm reiterating this because I just need it to be like understood what I'm trying to say. They are reporting it as these red, white, and blue type people. And it is them, but it's some other layers and levels to people. Yes, it's people who are, lobbyists paying other, what we get that, but it's some other, and don't bring up the Illuminati and like other secrets, the Knights Templar. Listen, yes, but I'm not talking about that either. It's like some other stuff going on. People who have also come over here and sold out their country because their leaders have sent them over here. It's like some other shit going down in America, and we just are not fully aware. There's going to be some type of there's another crisis that's coming with this revolution, this movement. I think it's going to bring about some type of crisis. Now, somebody's going to have like fake diplomatic immunity to something. I don't know how or why, but they, I don't know if they're responsible also, but there's something about them burning away something, burning away, burning away the global military, burning away the global military. What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, okay, okay. So the global military, this doesn't make sense. Okay. The army gets deployed to different parts of the globe at different points, right? But for some reason, I'm picking up on like the NATO people. Somebody explain this. If I'm saying this wrong, somebody explain in the comments how this goes. Isn't like NATO technically separate from all them other army things? It's like we'll have the Navy, the Army, the whatever people. And they are like the air people, the like all of the armies, but isn't like the best ones that go that are a part of NATO, or is NATO something completely different? NATO is like the ones, because I know it's like the Green Berets, whatever. Let me shut up because I know somebody's like cringing at this description. My point is some type of takeover, slow takeover of different areas in our country. And one of the main ones is to kind of like wipe away whatever is going on with NATO or like the global military. It's some type of military coup, surprise military where they take over like the government, leading to a new regime, but it's like a new regime of like the global shit. So America, I think that's what has to do with this Greenland thing. Listen, I'm gonna leave it right here. I feel like if you guys have picked up on what I have put down, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button so that other people can kind of get this info too. You know, we got to be very discreet over here because I'm not trying to lose this channel either. Also, bear with me as I make a few changes. I know I've kind of been like very lazy as far as like the recording format. It's because I still need to get these messages out on top of my course load and, you know, just living life and trying to figure out how to rebuild this channel, get all the subscribers that I lost while also staying motivated enough to stay consistent, you know, and then like, you know, I just feel like all the creative aesthetics and all that, that'll start to fall in place similarly to how it did the first time. Um, but just give it time. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next.